This is the first video in my British Columbia road trip series. We flew from Toronto to Victoria and planned overnight stops in Nanaimo, Vancouver, Sault, and Victoria. In this video, I'm sharing our journey to Nanaimo to kick off our BC sightseeing. Hey everyone, I'm in beautiful British Columbia today and I am so excited because this is the first real trip we've been on in about a year and a half. We've done some weekend getaways here and there, but this is the first time we have flown since March or February of 2020. So this is pretty exciting for us. We have a jam-packed itinerary for this week and we're gonna try and see as much of this beautiful province as we can. We're starting in Nanaimo today, so we are heading there right now and we're gonna take you along and show you what we find. Nanaimo is Vancouver Island's second biggest city and has one of the longest shorelines in Canada, making it easy to go from the city center, seaside, or to the wilderness in only a few minutes. The drive from Victoria Airport to Nanaimo was approximately 2.5 hours, including a few stops and traffic. Though, we were rerouted on our GPS and taken down one of the steepest, most narrow roads we've ever seen. Many profanities were shouted on this part of our drive, so you can enjoy it without the sound. En route to Nanaimo, and we were rerouted to save some time, so we're like, sure, we'll take this reroute. Little did we know it would take us on a one-lane, two-way, super winding road through the, I guess, Vancouver Island wilderness, which was beautiful but really scary, and I do not recommend. So we're continuing on and we're gonna stick to main roads, we think, so that we stay married. We encountered a bit of traffic, but it was Saturday afternoon and there were a few accidents on the highway. And on our way to Nanaimo, we saw numerous viewpoints on the side of the highway, so we decided to stop and stretch our legs. The Cowichan region was absolutely beautiful and one of our first water views of this trip. We pulled ourselves away from the view and carried on, but needed one more stop for food. We decided to try Lee's Famous Chicken, a fast food restaurant that we don't have in Ontario. I got the spicy jumbo dippers with potato wedges, and Alan went for a chicken sandwich. We could have easily split one of these meals because the portions were huge. The driving continued for another 45 minutes, but we finally arrived in Nanaimo around 2:30 p.m. and checked into our hotel. We booked the Best Western Dorchester, which was conveniently located by the water in the downtown area, so most attractions were easy to walk to in the area. The room was recently renovated and pretty modern, though the building itself was slightly dated. We really enjoyed our stay here, and it was one of the most comfortable beds we had on our entire trip. And it even had the perfect hiding nook for Alan to hide in while I quickly filmed the room. After we dropped off our luggage, we went out to explore the town and started at the harbourfront to do a walking tour of the area. We started by visiting some of Nanaimo's historic landmarks, including the War Memorial, Giant Anchor, and cannons near the Bastion. The Bastion was built in 1853 and pre-pandemic was open for tours of the 3-story interior. Next up was the Nanaimo Harbourfront walkway and the Port of Nanaimo. There are plenty of shops, places to get snacks, and even a few restaurants along the boardwalk here, and at the end there was even a company that did whale watching tours. We enjoyed the marina area and watching the seaplanes take off and land as we were walking along the boardwalk. And if you wanted to go fishing or just watch other people fish, they had a pedestrian pier open and we saw a few people catch some small fish while we were there. We kept walking and ended up at the Lagoon Park, where there was a pretty lagoon area and also a park for kids to play in. This is also where the big Nanaimo sign is to pose with. So obviously, I had to document my time here with a few photos and video, and we had perfect timing because the group before us just left. We had done tons of walking at this point and needed to rest, so we found the nearest brewery to sample some local craft beer. White Sills Brewing had a nice indoor seating area and also a few seats on their small patio. The beer was delicious, and we were very happy to be in their air conditioning while we rested and actually spent over an hour here enjoying our samples. But the fun wasn't over yet. We decided to get out of the downtown and see what was nearby, so we walked back to the hotel, hopped in the car, and headed to Piper's Lagoon Park. There was a small lagoon area that looked mostly dried up, but the beach along the ocean was beautiful. It seemed like a very popular spot, though the water was a bit too chilly for us to go swimming. We walked out to the rocky point for some photos, enjoyed the views, and then went off to our next stop. Neck Point Park was only a 5-minute drive from Piper's Lagoon, and the parking lot was pretty full when we arrived, but we got one of the last spots. Here you can see some great views of Shack Island, an island that separates the first area of Piper's Lagoon and Neck Point. There are beautiful walking trails, scenic viewpoints, and it's also a popular spot for scuba divers as well. The cabins on Shack Island were built in the 1930s and primarily used by fishermen. They look abandoned, but many of the shacks are still owned today by descendants of the original owners. We really enjoyed the scenery there, and the trails weren't too difficult. On our way out, we even spotted our first wildlife sighting, a deer and her baby walking through the parking lot and up the trail. It was a great sight to see. After our walk, we thought we would try out one more nature area to see some waterfalls and end our day. We went to Bowen Park, where there are lovely walking trails as well. Unfortunately, the water was a little bit low on our visit, so we didn't get the true waterfall experience here, but it was still a beautiful walk. I would definitely recommend all 3 of those locations, but perhaps not in one day. And after all of that walking, our final stop was for dinner and drinks at Modern Cafe. I had the tomato soup and warm spinach salad, and the hubby had a burger and salad. The food was pretty good, and we really enjoyed the atmosphere. And there you have how we spent our first full day of our BC road trip. Stay tuned for the next episode to see where we go to get the best Nanaimo bar in town, as voted by the citizens of Nanaimo, and we take the ferry to visit Vancouver. If you like this video, leave a like and let me know what activity you would have liked to do in Nanaimo. And as always, don't forget to subscribe for more travel videos coming soon.